Who hit the fake applause button? I told you guys, do not hit the fake applause
exactly.
button. I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
We got real people here. There are more people in this studio audience than we've ever had before.
We got some big name celebrities in here too.
That's right.
That are watching us perform right now.
Yes, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining us on another episode of Cross Counter Live. My name is Gootecks.
And I'm Mike Ross.
And we got a lot of show for you guys.
Yeah, we do. We got
today.
Like we said, we got a lot of guests in the audience.
Yes.
First, how was your weekend though?
My weekend was relaxing.
It was very good.
Yes.
You needed a relaxing weekend.
Did I look like I needed one? You guys can't see, but I have some serious bags underneath my eyes. But yeah, I had a nice weekend. What about yourself, Mike? What did you do?
I got to host and commentate the Rise of the Web Warrior finale, if you will, part 1.
The round robin.
The round robin tournament, yes, with Far Beyond Death, Beat It Cold, Perfect Legend, and of course the winner of the tournament, SHGLBMX.
SHGLBMX, spoiler alert, did win the tournament this weekend, and he is one of our in-studio guests that we have on. Yeah. That's coming down the pipe later, because first off, we have our first guest, Noel Brown.
Noel Brown. Let's bring him out right now. Noel Brown. Come take a seat.
Thank you for having us.
Noel Brown. Take a seat right here, sir. Oh, man.
We're jumping right in it. We've never done a guest this early.
Yeah, exactly. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, I'm happy to have you here. I know the world is happy to see Noel Brown because we all got some questions. All right. At first, if you don't mind, you know, everybody's got their kind of superhero origin story. Is that fair to say?
I find that all the best players have a really great origin story.
Absolutely.
If you don't have a good origin story,
not a good player.
Not a good player.
No, exactly. Well, anyways, Noel, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you come to be in the scene?
Well, I remember the very first time I went to Chinatown Fair in Chinatown in New York. I cut school to go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what
Origin story.
I was probably in 9th grade. And then
math class told me. English.
I cut school, and then I went, and I thought I was like the best in my pizzeria around my block, where, you know, so I go there and I see a bunch of, you know, Asian people, and I'm like, oh, whatever, I'm the best. Put in my quarter, and then, you know, 20 minutes later, I realized that I spent like $20.
Oh, snap. Oh, yeah, all that lunch money
what's
gone.
going on? Why am I losing? Like, I go to my local pizzeria, and then I win like 90% of the time. You know, I'll probably spend like $1 every 2 hours or something like that.
Right.
So I played Alpha 2. I played Super Smash Brothers as well, and I thought I was like the best in both games.
Yeah.
And then once I started losing in the arcade, one of my friends was like, hey, they do tournaments for this and everything like that. So then I decided to go to a Smash Brothers tournament, and then I went there, and then there was a team tournament. So before the team tournament even started, this guy's like, oh, hey, can I play? And I'm like, sure. And then he's like, yeah, just you and your friend, just play me. And I'm like, 2-on-1? He's like, yeah, just play me 2-on-1. He's like, I just need to practice this character, right? So he wants to practice. He's a Falco player, so he wanted to practice Marth, right? And he destroyed both of us. And then I was like, whoa, like, I go to the arcade the day before and I get bodied, and I go to this tournament and I get bodied, and I'm like, and I was a sore loser back then, so I'm like, whoa, like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, so basically I took a mental picture of everybody I lost to, and then I'm like, yo, at one point in time, I'm gonna beat these people. And then I finally like got my revenge on most of them.
Nice.
Pretty much, yeah.
Very good. So you kind of associate your origin almost with Smash Brothers, you would say?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I transitioned over to like Third Strike and things like that.
Okay.
Because I met Justin in Chinatown Fair. So then like I realized like the Smash Brothers community is like really young. And I was probably like 16, 17 at the time. And then like most of the kids are like 12 and you know 13. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to associate myself with little kids anymore. Like I can hang out with older people.
You're taking mental pictures of younger kids trying to get ready to beat them down.
Taking these kids' lunch money, man. It's so cruel.
Yeah, so you started going into Third Strike, and eventually you went into Street Fighter 4. You held up, and you know, but I think the community really got notice of you once Marvel 3 came out. Yes. What was it about the game that made you just say, this is going to be the game where I'm just going to take over?
Well, I had one of my favorite characters ever, was just Wesker, because I'm a Resident Evil fan. So I try to play Chris and Jill, but they're really bad. Well, Jill's not that bad, but Chris is pretty bad. So Wesker was always my favorite anyway out of the whole Resident Evil series. So I was like, all right, I'll play Wesker. And then I was just like, Well, since I'm playing a character that I like, now I can just find 2 other cheap characters I don't care about. So I was like, you know, so I'm like, in the beginning, I'm like, I'm playing Sentinel, and then I'm like, all right, Sentinel's really cheap. And then they nerfed his health, and then I'm like, nah, he's not cheap anymore. And I was like, I need somebody to help Wesker. And then I'm like, oh, let me see. Then I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, let me do mission mode. And I'm like, oh, Wolverine? I'm like, oh, mission mode? I'm like, I just did 700K. I was like, I did 700K with 1 combo. I'm like, oh, this is my character. This is a character for me. I was like, now I need an assist.
Right.
So then I'm looking at match videos, and I'm like, I look at Justin's video, and I'm like, oh, he's playing Akuma. I'm like, let me try Akuma. Then I'm like, oh, this is too cheap. This is too cheap.
And now you are one of the top players on the East Coast, if not the best player right now.
The best.
Well, there you have it. Noel Brown is the best.
Self-proclaimed best.
Yeah, self-proclaimed. I mean, well, Evo just happened, and you did really well. What'd you get at Evo?
I got 5th.
You got 5th place at Evo.
But who were the East Coast players that placed higher?
Eduardo, Puerto Rican Bulldog, but I don't know if that really counts.
Well, he's so East Coast. He's in the water.
Yes.
Puerto Rico is pretty far east.
Oh, man, but no.
Okay, but in the continental U.S., okay.
Yeah. In the continental US,
East Coast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely a top player. And, I mean, so you've been out in Cali for a while now. How long have you been out here?
Right now, like a week, going on a week.
Okay, what do you think of...
Yeah, what did you come out here for?
Actually, I was supposed to go to T12, and I couldn't find my passport. So my sponsor gave me the money anyway, and then I was like, oh, Devastation's coming up. Let me just go to Cali and train with Justin. He's like, oh, all right, whatever. So he just gave me money, and I came out here instead.
Do we have the wrong sponsors or something?
Tell us a little bit about your sponsor.
Well, my sponsor is a guy named Steve. I met him. A guy named Steve. I met him through a friend because my friend was sponsored for Guitar Hero at the time or something like that.
Okay.
And he actually found my friend at Dave & Buster's where we worked at because we had a Guitar Hero machine, and my friend used to always play instead of working. And then, like, he used to play the songs backwards. So then my sponsor came in. He was like, oh, this guy is amazing, blah, blah, blah. I want to sponsor this guy. So he took that kid to a Guitar Hero tournament. And then at that tournament, they had Street Fighter. So he was like, oh, do you know anybody that plays this game? And then my friend was like, oh, yeah, my friend at work plays this game, right? So then he's like, all right, come over to my house. And he invited me over. He's like, oh, come over to my house and play me and my friends or whatever. Let's see how good you are. I go over there, and I destroyed him. And I'm playing on pad, and I never play on pad. And they're like, oh, God, this guy's amazing. Like, this guy's incredible, right? So that's when he offers me the sponsorship. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then it happened to work out because Marvel came out, and then that was amazing. So
fortunately
wow.
for that. So what do you...
Sometimes you got to take risks.
So what is the name of the sponsor?
Oh, Unveil Gaming. Unveil Gaming.
Yes. Oh, there's
Unveil Gaming NYC.
Okay, cool. I was looking for Team Steve for a second.
Exactly, Team Steve. Noel Brown, right? Yeah. So, all right, so now that you've been here for a little bit over a week, what do you think of the scene as opposed to the New York scene?
It's very more hardcore. I like it a lot because everybody over here tries to help each other. Like as far as like New York goes, most of the people when you get to the top players, everybody is like in their own group. So like say I'm like, oh, like, hey Nerd Josh, you want to play? He's like, oh man, I gotta stream this old Street Fighter game that I'm gonna play. I gotta stream Turtles in Time.
Damn, on blast.
Turtles in Time.
I'm like, oh Chris G, you want to play? It's like, oh man, I just got Gears of War and something happened to my dog and like, stuff like that. So the only person I really play with in New York is Yipes, to be honest. And I play with another group of people like Smooth Viper, even though everybody thinks I hate him. I play with Smooth Viper, this guy named Bum, this kid named Ray Ray. We all play at this our friend's house. We call it the House of Crack. So yeah.
Nice. House of Crack. Okay, so let me ask you this. Why do you think that New York players don't want to play with each other?
Because they don't want to get figured out. But to be honest, I like getting figured out because then it'll make me expand on my game.
Yeah.
So
you can't get better unless you're forced to.
Exactly.
Once you've hit that wall.
If you keep doing the same habits, then
and not getting punished for it, you're going to be a bad player.
Yeah.
So then, what do you do if you're basically just playing just you and Yipes? I mean, how do you get better?
I play online a lot, and I come to Cali. I come to Cali like every other month, so I get to play with Flo, I get to play with Justin, Combo Fiend, Clockwork. So I get to play with all these people. So like they're quick to pick up bad habits. So it makes me change my gameplay really, really fast.
So what do you think of some of the talent out here?
The talent, you guys have like a really, really, really like large amount of talent out here compared to New York, where we probably like have like, I'll say like 30 entrants, but only like 6 of them are good. 6, 7 of them are good. I'll say like every person I played every round, I was like actually scared that I might lose. So yeah, I was pretty nerve wracking, but I enjoy the competition, so it's pretty good.
I have to ask you the question that's been burning everybody's mind. There's a big tournament coming up.
Yeah.
Seasons Beatings.
Correct. October 14th through 16th.
That's right.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. Momo's, right?
Momo too.
Raising Cane's.
I'm not gonna talk about Raising Cane's. My experience. It was cold when I had it, so
I'm sorry.
I didn't really experience it. But so there's gonna be a 5-on-5, West Coast versus East Coast, almost like the run back from Evo. Mm-hmm. How did you guys do at Evo? How did your performance do on the 5-on-5 at Evo?
I wasn't on the team at Evo because I wasn't good enough at the time.
Okay, so how does one go from not being on the Evo team to being captain of the East Coast team in the run back that you weren't a part of in the first place?
See, I was the best at the time on the East Coast, but SRK did a poll, and then most of the SRK community thinks I'm like this asshole, I'm this bad guy, whatever. So they was like, oh, okay, let's pick Nerd Josh since we all love Spooky. So then Nerd Josh was captain, and then he chose Chris G. Chris G was good. He chose Marlapie. Marlapie was okay at the time. I was better than Marlapie at the time.
This might be part of the reason that people think you're an asshole or a bad guy.
I just keep it real.
He's just being real right now. He's just being real. That's like, why we have you. We want you to speak your mind.
I just feel like, I feel like Nerd Josh leaned more towards his friends than talent, Mm-hmm. So I look past all of that. And then my performances at every major tournament I've been to have been like the most consistent on the East Coast in general. Mm-hmm. So like Galleon saw that and he's like, okay, like, oh, I might as well just pick this guy because he deserves it out of everybody else. So
all right, so the moment that we've all been waiting for.
So you're picking a team based on talent.
Correct.
Who is the 5-man team to fight against Team West Coast?
My first pick is obviously myself.
Obviously, you have to put the best player on the team.
Because I'm the best, exactly.
Obviously.
The second pick is actually not like no-brainer too. It's going to be Puerto Rican Barg, Eduardo, since he got second.
Exactly.
My third pick is IFC Yipes, my trainer partner.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Very good.
Really good. Yes.
Very good.
My fourth and fifth pick were the hardest picks because I didn't know who to pick after those two. But due to like recent tournament results, and I just seen like the progression of this person grow after Evo. My fourth pick is Marlapie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just won T12.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And
wow, there's only one spot left.
Was the hardest one. It was like a toss-up between Chris G, this kid named Ray that I trained with. He's been beating Chris G in a lot of locals, like the past 3 or 4 locals they played in. Rai also too. And who else? Oh, Josh Wong was one of them. And Andre Twisted Jago.
Okay.
These all, like, I was like, damn, which one am I going to pick? But then I go on Facebook, like, 2 days ago, right? Then I look at somebody's page. I'm just looking at a random person's page, right? And I'm like, oh, this guy's going to Seasons Beatings? And then I decided not to pick any of those 5 guys I just named. So Chris G, none of them are on the team. I decided to pick Job from Florida. It's a Zero-Tron Phoenix player because I have no Phoenix players on the team. And West Coast has 2 Phoenix players. Ooh. So I feel like I need a Phoenix player, just one. He's actually really good. He got top 32 at Evo. He went on a Florida tournament, so he's not a bad player.
Well, there you guys have it. That is the team right there. You heard it here first. Noel Brown, thank you for joining us. We got to take a quick break. What's your Twitter if people want to argue
Noel
about
B
you?
Hungry. Noel, the letter B Hungry, because I'm always hungry.
Yeah, yo, make sure you guys send Noel some Twitter messages. Let him know your thoughts on the team that he picked and everything, and he's eager to read them.
I'm eager to read them. I hope you retweet all the best ones.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
all right,
Noel,
thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming down.
All
right, we're going to take a quick break, guys. We'll BRB.
Cross counter.